ride up from Blairsville to Mountain Crossing. We did a short resupply, and now we're getting ready to head out to Hiawassee. It's not going to be tonight. It's probably going to be over the next few days. Not exactly sure how long it's going to take us because there is a storm rolling in tonight. And you know, talked with some of the people that we had been kind of leapfrogging with previously, and they're just going to stay the night and try and ride it out. But Stacy and I, foolishly or not, don't know yet. We're going to try and stick it out. We're just going to hike on and see what happens.
We're a little anxious to get moving, so we're just going to go ahead and hike through the weather. So the next goal is to get to Hiawassee so that we can replace Ryan's phone, which got broken. So we are on our way. So beautiful because there's no leaves on the trees, and you can see that we're way up here in the mountains. As soon as, I guess, it gets to be summer, we're just going to be in the green tunnel, as they say. Even if we're on top of a mountain, we're barely going to be able to tell, but this is pretty awesome.
So it had to have dropped at least 10 degrees or so in the last 30 minutes. It started to get a little darker, and we can see the rain coming from that direction. I don't know how long we have, but it's probably going to be, I don't know, hopefully we get another hour or so out of this before it starts pouring on us.
We're walking into a cloud. Right, it's officially raining, looking good.
My favorite couple on the trail.
Well, we just crossed the road. We came up a really steep mountain and then down a steep mountain. Honestly, the down is worse than the up. It's more punishing, it feels like, more painful. It's pouring rain, and it's been like eerie but beautiful in the woods because you can only see so far. You're like up in a cloud, getting drenched through like these thick woods. We're freezing cold, popped down this road, and we crossed the road, and then look, right here, someone left
Capri Sun! Look at that!
So anyway, we're about to get a little blood sugar happening. Thank you, whoever left a Capri Sun, you're awesome.
Yeah, I hope one day you see this video so I can thank you.
Yeah, we love you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Hey everyone, we finally made it to Neel Gap shelter. We hiked in the rain and cold wind for quite a long time. We got to the shelter and hoped to stay in that shelter for the night and stay out of the rain for a while. The shelter is supposed to sleep 7. When we got there, there ended up being like 35 people crammed in like sardines. So there was absolutely nowhere to stay. By that point, we were starting to get really cold because the sweat was starting to cool down. You know, all the water on our body was starting to cool down. So we just had to find a campsite. So we hiked back up, set up camp, and well, here we are. The weather's getting kind of nasty, but the wind is going pretty darn crazy.
Yeah.
It's still raining.
This is the first time we've been in like high winds in this tent, so we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. We're both kind of just watching the tent, hoping that it stays up.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was a pretty difficult day. Honestly, I think it was probably the hardest for me so far. I don't know. It was just really cold and really long. It was like 11.5 miles, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was close to 12.
So anyway, it was just really long and cold and rough, but we did it, and now we're cozying our tent, so just hoping everything goes fine through the night.
We are going to try to sleep. I don't know how well that's going to go. We'll see, but spirits are still high, and we're happy to be here. As you can tell, it froze over last night, high winds. Dangerous, so we're trying to pack up as quickly as we can and get moving so we can get our feet warm. My pants are literally frozen solid, my socks are frozen solid, everything was frozen, so we gotta get moving, stay warm.
how quickly you warm up just when you start moving. Except for, of course, our feet, which are still like in really wet socks and shoes, like squelching wet. So those aren't gonna get very warm today, but that's okay. But yeah, last night was crazy. The wind was just going all night. There was ice falling out of the trees and landing on our tent. We woke up and the whole outside of the tent was covered with ice. So it was kind of, I don't know, slightly uncomfortable night because we were thinking about tree limbs falling out and hitting us and stuff, but everything was fine, and it feels really good to have everything packed up and moving. It was hard to get everything packed up because all of the everything that was wet the night before, which was pretty much everything, was now like frozen into a block of ice. So all the knots that we had tied to like tie our bear bag up were iced over, and of course our shoelaces were all stiff and iced. But anyway, got it all done. Moving now feels a lot better.
Stacy's hair starting to freeze. My mustache was starting to freeze a minute ago as well. We started off this morning's hike trying to prepare as quickly as we could and get out of camp. It was actually dangerously cold. We made it to Blue Mountain Shelter. At that point, both of us were kind of hurting. The left side of my knee has kind of been bothering me when I go down hills. And I know Stacy's foot, you know, the bottom of her foot has been bothering her.
It was only 7 miles a day for us at that point, and so it was really early. It was only like 2 o'clock, and every time we stopped walking, we got so cold, like painfully cold.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a hard decision. It's like, what should we do? I guess we'll just stop here because we're having pain when we hike. We need to stop and rest. But every time we stop hiking and stop working hard and generating heat, we get so cold. So we were like, I guess we're going to pitch a tent and get into our sleeping bags at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. We've been talking with a couple on Instagram. Their trail names are Spruce Lee and Shiitake. And they started a day before us, and they were really booking it. We didn't think we were ever going to actually catch up with them. And then once we got to Blue Mountain Shelter, lo and behold, both of them were actually there. Yeah. So it was really cool. We ended up really hitting it off. We loved talking with them. We had a great time. We were expecting a lot of bad weather. At that point, Stacy and I had decided that we were going to try and stick it out. And then another hiker that we've been talking to ended up showing up and said, hey, you know, I'm going to go to a cabin and hang out and kind of, you know, wait out the storm. We thought, you know, maybe we'll give this a shot, you know.
Ryan was like, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, John books it. He's going to go get picked up to go to the cabins, and then so we and this other couple decided to like go ahead and make our way down the mountain to this road where they were going to get picked up, and now we're thinking about getting picked up and going to this cabin as well.
So we finally go down. We get to the place where we're going to be picked up, and then there's trail magic waiting for us. And that was just a little pick-me-up that I think we all needed at that moment. And then, anyways, we got picked up. We were driven here, you know, to these cabins. Long story short is John ended up paying for our cabin. He ended up completely paying for it.
And we got like free soup from the caretakers, and they're just like unbelievably hospitable. They're just like super excited to see us and to pick us up and to talk to us. And we have this like cabin for the night, which has heat and running water and
a bathroom.
Stove. Yeah.
It's got multiple bunks. It's got a stove, a sink, a microwave, a fridge.
The problem with the cold was that we had been the day before we got rained on so much.
Yeah.
So everything we have is wet. We woke up in the morning and literally our socks were frozen solid. We had to like crack them to put them on our feet, which of course is horribly uncomfortable. And our shoes were also frozen. So, you know, all day, even when we warmed up, when we were hiking, our shoes are still soaking wet and freezing cold. So anyway, the idea of...
And to that point, like, our feet have been numb. Like,
like all day.
Like,
all
we
day.
could not feel our toes.
So the idea that we're going to be able, like, to dry out our shoes and socks and then start again hiking tomorrow with, like, actually dry clothes is really amazing. So anyway, we're just kind of, like, high on life right now.
We're a little bit in shock. I think it was just a huge turn of events because we had kind of submitted to the fact that we were going to be on the top of the mountain in freezing cold weather, and now we're in a cabin that has been paid for by someone else, and we've been given free things, a ride, and the trail provides. I guess in this case, John provides. And it was just awesome. We feel really grateful, and we're really happy right now.
We felt like this week has been a pretty good sort of example of the highs and lows of sort of what we were expecting out of the trail, because we've had some great weather the first few days, and we've had some horrible weather the last few days. We've, you know, trudged through mud and wind and rain and cold, and then other days it's just been absolutely beautiful. It's been kind of hot, it's been really cold, and we've had some times where our spirits are low, and then we've had times like this where really unexpected things happen, and we're just really blown away and excited and sort of humbled by other people helping us out. So anyway, I mean, it's only literally, this is a week. This is 1 week that we've been here.
1 week.
And it feels like it's been a month, a week.
We've met more people that are just kind of excited about life.
And people who are very like passionate, who are being very purposeful about what they want to do with their life. We've met a lot of people who we seem to have a lot in common with, so it's been really fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have cranked up the heat. We're going to get dry and get clean and have some hot soup, and it's going to be amazing. We're also looking forward to go find John and...
I'm going to get you, John.
We're going to get you. All right, John.